Today we are going to start a new lesson, Microbes in Human Welfare, which is chapter 10th of your NCERT book. In this chapter, today we will cover two important topics, microbes in household product and microbes in industrial products. So children, you know that microbes generally, you have heard that these microbes, they are harmful for us. But in this lesson we will study how these microbes, they are useful for us. So first of all, we should know what is the meaning of the lesson, microbes in human welfare. When the properties of microbes, they are harnessed for useful purposes, then it is said that these microbes, they are useful for us. Now children, you know that microbes, they are very important components of biological system on the earth. They are as important as macroscopic plants and animals. We studied about the classification of these microbes in class 11. Most of the microbes, they are very small and you can see them under the microscope. So now we will study where these microbes, they are found. You know that microbes, they are present everywhere. So they are cosmopolitan in nature. They can found in soil, air, water, right, deep inside the earth, under the thick layer of snow. They are found in a extreme condition like thermal vents or geysers where temperature is about 100 degree Celsius. So, and they can also survive in acidic environment also, right? So these microbes, they are very important and they are found everywhere in the earth. In a mouth, million of microbes, they are there. Now microbes, they are classified into protozoa, bacteria, fungi, viruses, viroids and prions. So you all are familiar about protozoa, bacteria, fungi and viruses, but two new terms, viroids and prions, they are there. So I'll tell you what are viroids and prions. First of all, viroids. Children, viroids, they are smallest infectious pathogen and they are composed of single-stranded circular RNA without protein coat. So if somebody says what is the difference between viroids and viruses, you know children, in viruses the genetic material may be DNA or RNA, but in viroids the genetic material will always be single-stranded RNA. In viruses protein coat is there, but here the protein coat, it is absent. So you can easily distinguish viroids from virus. Beside this, these viroids, they are much smaller than that of viruses. Now we will come to prions. Now prions, they have one peculiar characteristics, that they do not have genetic material or nucleic acid. So they are simple protein particles. So children, you know that microbes, they can be grown in nutritive medium. If you go to, you might have visited the IMTech lab in Chandigarh, which is the microbial lab, and there you might have seen how the culture of bacteria is done. So these bacteria, they are grown in nutritive medium, and the colonies of bacteria, they are grown, and why they are grown there? For the purpose of study, right? So here in your NCERT book, one diagram is there in which different type of bacteria, viruses, as well as colonies of bacteria growing in nutritive medium, it is shown. So you have to go through this diagram. In this diagram you will see the different shape of bacteria. It is shown, that is rod shaped bacteria, which is said to be the bacilli, and spherical shaped bacteria, they are there. Rod shaped bacteria with flagella, it is there. Figure of bacteriophage, adenovirus, which causes respiratory disorder, it is shown there. TMV, that is tobacco mosaic virus, is also there. And In one figure they have shown the colonies of microbes, that is bacteria and fungus. It is grown in the nutritive medium. Children, most of us think that microbes, they are always harmful for us, but here in this chapter we will study about the useful aspects of the microorganisms. So one by one we will discuss how these microbes, they are very useful for us. So first of all we will discuss what role does these microbes play in forming different household products. Now first of all we will discuss lactobacillus bacteria or lactic acid bacteria, which is also said to be lab. You might have seen in your kitchen your mama preparing the curd. So how this curd is prepared? From milk. It is very important. So if you want to convert milk into curd, first of all you have to add a small amount of curd in a fresh milk, right? This small amount of curd which is added in the fresh milk, it is said to be the inoculum or starter. So term given in Hindi, it is said to be khatta or jamun, you can also say, right? So this inoculum or starter, why it is used? If you will not use inoculum or starter, your milk will not get converted into curd. So what is there in this inoculum? In this inoculum, several million of lab, means lactic acid bacteria, they are there. So when this small amount of small amount of curd is added in a fresh milk having a temperature about 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, so milk should be lukewarm, right? Because in lukewarm milk the bacteria, they divide very fast, right? And these lactobacillus bacteria, when they will divide and redivide, they will produce more bacteria, and these bacteria, they will digest the milk protein, converting the milk into curd. So one very important thing about the curd is that it is very rich in vitamin B12, right? Beside this, it is also rich in calcium, and as protein is digested by the bacteria, so curd is easily digestible. So curd, it is very good for your health. You have to take curd in your diet because it has very good amount of vitamin B12 as well as calcium, and it is easy digestible, right? Beside this lab, that is lactic acid bacteria, it play very beneficial role in checking disease causing microbes. Now we will study about the fermentation. You might have seen the dough, the puffed appearance of the dough, right? Sometime if your mother is cooking bhatura, or if your mother is making idli or dhokla, so puffed appearance is there. So now question arises, why this puffed appearance is there in certain food, right? So this puffed appearance is due to one gas which is said to be the carbon dioxide. So whenever the food get fermented, if you are making a fermented food item like dosa, idli, khaman, dhokla, bhatura, then that the material, it is, or in case of dosa and idli you can use term batter, the batter is first fermented, right? So when fermentation is done, then what happen, one gas is produced, and this gas make that batter very much light, right? And the batter rises up, right? Why that rises up? Due to the production of carbon dioxide. Same way, if you take the dough of bhatura, right, so it will also become puffy due to the production of this carbon dioxide. And when this carbon dioxide escapes, small holes are there in the food item. So you might have seen small hole in dhokla, idli, and in bread. This is due to the escape of carbon dioxide. So you know that the yeast, it acts as a very important fermenting agent in bakery, right? So this yeast, when respire anaerobically, it produces carbon dioxide gas as well as alcohol, right? And this carbon dioxide gas is responsible for the puffing of the dough. Now the yeast which is used for making this dough puffy, it is said to be, the name of the biological name of that the yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, right? So Saccharomyces cerevisiae is the name of the yeast which is also said to be the baker's yeast, because it is used in baking industry, right, for making dough very much light or puffy, and this result in the fermented food items. Now a number of traditional drink, if you go to the southern part of the country, then there you will find a drink which is said to be toddy, right? The toddy, it is a traditional drink of some part of southern India, and it is made by fermenting the sap of from palm. So here in this picture you are seeing that in this picture here this palm tree is there, and in this palm this fruit of palm, and inside this fruit you will see the sap of palm is there, and when this sap of palm, it is fermented, you will get this white colored milk like liquid which is said to be the toddy. So toddy, it is a traditional drink of the southern part of India which we get from the sap of palm, right? So palm fruit. So this, after, means sap of palm will not give you this toddy. When you will do the fermentation of the sap of this palm fruit, then you will get a toddy. Okay, so this is also, so microbes play very important role in fermentation also. Now various type of cheese you use, right? You know, for making pizza, right, we are using the cheese. Beside this, different varieties of cheese they are there. If you go to the market, you will get different varieties of cheese. Variety of cheese or the taste of cheese actually depends on which type of microbes is used for the preparation of cheese. So if you see the Swiss cheese in this diagram, here you are seeing that this cheese is there. So this is a Swiss cheese, and this Swiss cheese, here big holes are there, and this Swiss cheese, it is prepared from the bacterium. And what is the name of that bacterium? It is very important, Propionibacterium shermani. It is very important for your exam. So in Swiss cheese, you will see the large holes they are there. And why these holes they are formed? These holes they are formed due to the production of carbon dioxide, because here the fermentation is done, right? So this big holes they are produced, and this Swiss cheese is produced with the help of one bacterium which is said to be Propionibacterium shermani. This is very important for your examination for 1 mark question. Beside this one, another cheese is there. You are seeing here, this is Roquefort cheese, this white color cheese. This is Roquefort cheese, and this cheese is made up of, is prepared from fungi. So here also microbes, they are very playing very important role in giving different flavors to the cheese, right? If you the flavor of Swiss cheese will be different from that of Roquefort cheese, because here two different microbes they are used. In Swiss cheese, bacterium it is used, while in Roquefort cheese, fungi is used. So these cheese they will have different flavors due to the production from different microbes. So now we will study what is the role of microbes in industrial products. They play very important role in industries also, right? So here, number of products like alcohol and antibiotics. You all are familiar with the term antibiotics. In lower classes you have studied about antibiotics, that is the drugs which are used to kill the disease causing pathogens. They are said to be antibiotics. And alcohol, you all know, it is produced by the fermentation, or you can say anaerobic respiration when takes place. Then alcohol along with carbon dioxide, it is produced. So microbes play very important role for producing industrial products like alcohol and antibiotics. So here you are seeing a special vessels, they are there, and these vessels, they are said to be fermenters. So these are the fermenters, okay? And these fermenters, in these fermentation is done on commercial scale, and you will get the different products, right? So it is these fermenter, they are mainly used in the production of alcohol. Now first of all, we will study about the antibiotics. As you all are familiar about the antibiotics, these are the chemical substances produced by some microbes, and they kill or retard the growth of other microbes, right? You know, children, penicillin was the first antibiotic to be discovered. And who discovered this antibiotic? Alexander Fleming was the scientist. Sir Alexander Fleming was the scientist who first discovered this antibiotic by serendipity. Means accidentally these antibiotics, they were discovered. So experiment you all are familiar with, that he was doing, he was culturing the this bacteria. He was culturing the staphylococci bacteria, and he saw that around these unwashed cultures of staphylococci bacterium, after some time the growth of these bacterium, it was stopped, right? So he noticed that around these staphylococci bacteria, the colonies of staphylococci bacteria, there was one mold, and the name of that mold was Penicillium notatum. And this Penicillium notatum produces certain substance which is hindering the growth of staphylococci bacteria. So because this mold is responsible for the decrease in growth of staphylococci bacteria, he named that chemical as penicillin, right? And later on it was said that it is a very useful antibiotic which can be used to stop the growth of bacterium. So actually the credit of discovery of this penicillin was given to Sir Alexander Fleming. But later on, the how this antibiotic is used to cure the diseases, it was given by two scientists, that is Ernest Chain and Howard Florey. So for their work, Ernest Chain, Howard Florey along with Sir Alexander Fleming, they got Nobel Prize in the year 1945 for physiology as well as for medicine. So this penicillin was was extensively used to treat American soldiers in World War II. But now this antibiotic, that is penicillin, it is of no use, because now most of the bacteria has now become resistant to this drug. So nowadays this penicillin, it is in very less use, because most of the bacteria, they have become resistant to this antibiotic. Okay, so many other, so in this figure you are seeing the diagram of here it is the picture of Alexander Fleming, Ernest Chain and Howard Florey it is there. Okay. Now we come to the next, fermented beverages. Okay. Now fermented beverages means the beverages which can be prepared from by the process of fermentation. You know, the yeast, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, it is used in baking industry for making bread, and that is why it is said to be the brewer's yeast, right? And this, it is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, it is also used for fermented malted cereals and fruit juices. When it ferment malted cereals and fruit juices, it result in the formation of alcohol, right? Earlier I have shown you the picture of fermenters in which the process of fermentation it is done. So depending on the type of raw material used in fermentation and the fermentation is done with distillation or without distillation, different type of alcoholic drink you will get. Okay. So what type of raw material you are using? You are using fruit juices, or you are using any sugary material, or if you are using grapes, you are using malt or any other thing, or for the purpose of fermentation, if you are doing fermentation with distillation or without distillation, you will get different type of alcoholic product. Children, keep this thing in mind that wine and beer, they have comparatively less alcoholic content, so they are produced without distillation, right? So comparatively, if you see in wine and beer, the alcoholic content is comparatively less, while if you compare them with whiskey, brandy and rum, they are produced by distillation of fermented broth. So here, as they are producing by distillation, so they will have alcoholic content comparatively more than that of wine and beer. So they are alcohol rich drinks, whiskey, brandy and rum, right? So here in this picture, the different types of alcoholic drinks they have shown: whiskey, wine, beer, etc. Okay. So keep this thing in mind that the wine and beer, they are produced without distillation, while whiskey, brandy and rum, they are produced by distillation of fermented broth. So it can come in your examination, so you have to note it important in your NCERT book, right? Now we come to here in this diagram also, the different type of beverages, alcoholic beverages are there. Fermented wine, cedar, perry, they are fermented, and distilled you will get whiskey, rum, gin, vodka, all these are the distilled drinks, right? Now we are going to discuss the most important part of this lesson, that is how microbes they are used in producing many chemicals, right? So this is very important. Definitely question comes from this part in board examination. So read it, this the role of microbes in producing chemicals. It is very, very important. So read it very much carefully. So what type of chemicals they are produced by the microorganism? Aspergillus niger, you know children, it is a fungus and it produces citric acid. Citric acid, you know, it is present in the citrus fruit, but here we are artificially producing citric acid by Aspergillus niger, and the citric acid used as a very important preservative for many items. Now Acetobacter aceti, this is one bacterium which is used to produce acetic acid, which is said to be the vinegar, and acetic acid is a very important raw material for laboratory, as well as it is used for cooking purposes. Third is Clostridium butylicum, which is again a bacterium. It is used for the preparation of butyric acid. Next is Lactobacillus bacterium, you know children, it produces lactic acid, and this lactic acid is used for making curd. And last is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is used for the production of ethanol. So all these microorganisms, they are very important, and they are used for commercial production of many chemicals, which can be used in the laboratory as well as for other useful purposes. Now they are also used for the commercial and industrial production of enzymes. So these microorganisms, they play very important role in the commercial productions of enzyme. So very important one enzyme is there, which is said to be the lipase, right? Lipase, it is a very important enzyme which is produced by the fungus Aspergillus niger, right? And it is used in the laundry detergent. Laundry detergent, you know, surf and all, they are the laundry detergent. And what is the important characteristic of this enzyme? This enzyme, it breaks down the oil particles into small pieces. It breaks down the oil particle, as a result of which the cleaning of material or cleaning of any fabric or whatever you want to clean where the surface is oily, so they help in the cleaning of the oily surfaces. So lipase, they are used in laundry detergent, because lipase dissolve the fats and oils. Lipase you studied in the digestive system also. It helps in the digestion of fats. So here this lipase enzyme, which is produced by the Aspergillus niger, and this can be used in laundry detergent. Okay, and why it is used? As you all know, that it helps in breaking down of fats and oils, as a result of which the greasing, it will disappear in the article which is oily. Now other is protease and pectinase. It is very important. You might have seen, if you compare the clarity of the juice which you make at your home and which you get from outside, means the juices like real juice or Tropicana, if you compare the clarity of those juices with the juice which is there made by you at home, then you will see that the juices which you get from outside, they are quite clearer than that of juices that is made by you at home. The juices which you made at home, they are quite pulpy. Okay, they are not very much clear. So in why these juices, they have very much clarity which you get from outside? So these juices, they contain protease and pectinases enzymes, and these proteases and pectinases enzyme, what is the function of these pectinase and proteases enzyme? They actually digest, or they break down the cell wall of a fruits, right? Because cell wall, it is made up of pectins. So these pectinase and proteases, they act on the cell wall, as a result of which you will get the juice within the cell will be easily come out. So these pectinase, they are using for clarifying the extracted juice, right? Again, Aspergillus niger is the fungus from which you will get these enzymes. So Aspergillus niger is very important fungus. It is playing very important role in producing different type of enzymes which has diverse uses. So here in this figure also, you are seeing that bottle juices, they are prepared from Aspergillus niger. Now streptokinase. Now we will study how these microorganisms, they play very important role in medical industry also. So streptokinase, which is prepared from a bacterium which is said to be the Streptococcus bacterium, right? It acts as a clot buster, very very important for your examination. So this streptokinase bacterium used as a clot buster. What does that actually mean? Sometimes what happens in your heart, the clot formation takes place somehow due to some abnormality in your or not proper functioning of your body. The clot formation takes place in your heart, right? And means the arteries and veins which are there in your heart, or um, the blood vessels which are supplying blood to your heart, in that blood vessels clot is formed. So to remove that clot, this streptokinase it is given, and this streptokinase is given intravenous. Intravenously means through veins it is given, because this streptokinase it can be digested by a body. So intravenous injection of streptokinase it is given, and this streptokinase, when in a blood circulation, when it goes to the heart, it digests the clot which is there, and as a result of which the artery or the vein it become clearer. So it also acts as a clot buster to remove clot. So here again very useful use of microorganism, that is staphylococcus bacterium, which is producing streptokinase, and this streptokinase it is given to a patient which is suffering from myocardial infarction, right? Myocardial infarction, it is clear, and this myocardial infarction leads to the heart attack, because myocardial infarction means if blood circulation is not there in any particular area of the heart, that area will become dead, and if that area will become dead, it will lead to the heart attack, right? So what is actually the streptokinase? It is again the enzyme, and it is also said to be fibrinolysis, right? Fibrinolysis, fibrin formation takes place when the clot is formed. In class 11 you have studied about how the formation of how the clotting of blood takes place. In that clotting you studied the last step fibrin, that is a network of fibrin is formed, in which the blood cells they get entangled, as a result of which clot is formed. So what is the function of this streptokinase? It helps in the breaking of this fibrin, and when fibrin will be break, then there will be no clotting of blood, right? That is why it is said to be clot buster. So if this question comes in your examination, why streptokinase is said to be clot buster? Because it helps in breaking down the fibrin, right? As a result of which clot will not be formed. It is also used in the thrombolytic therapy. Thrombo means that clot, and lytic means to break. So it breaks the clot, that is why it is used in thrombolytic therapy, right? Now we come to the bioactive molecules. So bioactive molecules, first of all should know what are bioactive molecules. So bioactive molecules are those molecules which are formed in one organisms, and they affect the metabolism of another organisms, like cyclosporin A and statins. They are formed in fungi and yeast, and they alter the metabolism of human beings. So these cyclosporin A, which is formed from the fungus Trichoderma polyspermum, acts as a very good immunosuppressive agent. So you should know what are immunosuppressive agents. So whenever the organ transplant takes place, that is whenever organ from one person is transplant to the another, the body of that person in which the transplant has been taken place rejects the grafts, right? Means it does not allow that particular transplant to enter inside the body of that person. So by giving this cyclosporin A, it suppresses the immune system, as a result of which the transplant or the graft rejection which was earlier, it doesn't takes place, and proper grafting or transplantation occur, right? Same way, statins, which are produced by yeast Monascus purpureus, it acts as a blood cholesterol lowering agent. Children, you know that liver in a body produces cholesterol, and this cholesterol play very important role uh, in proper functioning of certain sex hormones like testosterone. So when the production of this cholesterol is more in our body, then it get deposited in the blood vessels, which result in the narrowing of blood vessels, and term used for it is atherosclerosis. So hardening and narrowing of blood vessels is said to be atherosclerosis, which may result in increase in blood pressure, and it may lead to heart attack. So it is very much essential that the blood cholesterol level should be maintained, and this can be done with the help of statins, which is produced by Monascus purpureus yeast. Now, how does statins work? So these statins, they, by the process of competitive inhibition, compete with the enzyme that produces cholesterol in a body. So statins form enzyme substrate complex, and it does not allow the cholesterol producing enzyme to bind with the substrate, as a result of which the level of cholesterol decreases in a blood, and hence it maintains the cholesterol level in a blood. So this much for today, children. These statins, enzymes and organic acid, they are very important for your examination. So read these topics very much carefully, right? So this much for today, children. Thank you very much.